So this should be a very interesting one. Carlos Cordoba, 30 years old, versus the 27-year-old Luis Escudero. Rodolfo, take it away and introduce our fighters.
Este duelo es en el peso pluma, la división de peso pluma, and the featherweight division, scheduled for 3 rounds de 3 asaltos. The judges are, los jueces son Richard Green Jr., Dorian Marisola y Jonathan Lane. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un combate global. De la esquina azul, out of the blue corner, this man entered with an official weight at 145.2 pounds. Entró a la jaula con un peso oficial de 145.2 libras. Tiene un récord de 1 victoria y 4 derrotas. Comes in with a record of 1 victory, 4 defeats. De San Jose, Costa Rica, by way of Orlando, Florida, Carlos, the Costa Rican Killer, Cordoba. De la esquina roja, out of the red corner, he walks in with an official weight of 145.6 pounds. Entró a la jaula con el peso oficial de 145.6 libras y tiene un récord de 3 victorias y 2 derrotas. Comes in with a record of 3 victories, 2 defeats. De Hermosillo, México, Luis Pride Escudero. And when the action begins, el referee, el árbitro, Marcos Perez.
Ok, ya saben las reglas, quiero una pelea limpia, sigan mi comando en cada momento, choque guantes, a su esquina, por favor.
Marcos Perez getting our fighters ready to go.
Defend yourself at all times, follow my commands. Luis is a showman. Just his little warm-up was interesting.
He is, and that's what you got to do in order to get the fans on social media. Really work that on-air time, and opening up with a vicious leg kick. Carlos is definitely going to have to check those before they start adding up, because that is a lethal weapon of Luis Pride Escudero.
And the pride of Hermosillo Escudero definitely looks like an anime figure. Has a lot of those cool movements, not afraid to come in. In fact, he had a submission victory that started to trend all over the net, Campbell and Alex, and had a lot of people talking about it.
Listen, I know it's my company and everything, but where was he fighting before this?
Do we have to say names?
Then don't.
Regional promotions.
Regional
Mexico.
promotions.
There we go. We'll keep it at that. We'll keep it at that.
Hermosillo Battling Championships.
And now Carlos Cordoba looking
maybe
for
a guillotine there.
Look at this.
But he does have a front headlock position. He's
Not
looking
quite
to
tight. Let's
maybe
see.
work into a high elbow position, which is a much higher percentage guillotine choke.
Yeah, Escudero's not giving up in this position. Still holding on tight.
Much more of a neck crank right now,
Yeah,
fans at
yeah,
home.
it's like twisting his head off.
He didn't have anything there whatsoever. Cordoba, though, lives on through. You know, if he escapes this first round, Cordoba, you know, he can have something on here. We saw both of his previous performances, and it just didn't go quite well. Very quickly ended.
I really like to see Cordoba switching stances a little, being elusive against a guy like Luis, who comes in hot with those kicks. So if he's switching stances, that'll definitely alleviate some of the leg pain he's going to start feeling after those kicks add up. Solid hook, a flurry, a barrage of punches.
Punches and bunches.
Yeah,
we like that.
The very exciting fighter, Escudero, a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He considers it a style of fighting, the Mexican boxing, but more of a freestyle fighter.
Luis is really quick in there on the feet. Everything happens in flashes. So we're going to have to see some crazy head movement from Cordoba to not get caught with one of those.
Oh, it took a shot there from Escudero, but Cordoba still hanging in tight. Heard you say, Campbell Pryor, protect yourself at all times. He has to keep those hands up for Cordoba.
Yeah.
Oh! Oh, what a sprint for Cordoba!
Escudero is down, but quickly gets
He recovered.
his gathering
He's
back
up.
together.
Oh, and maybe a takedown, but he has to be very careful. He's pulled off submissions prior like this.
Double leg takedown.
My favorite
into the
fight
guard.
already.
Into the guard of Luis Escudero, who is very dangerous off his back, looking for the armbar here.
This is what Escudero likes to do, to pull off those unexpected submissions.
Now he's looking to get a triangle choke. He's isolating one of the arms, but it looks like he has both arms, so he would have to go for a dead orchard, which is basically when you have both arms.
What the hell is
inside
a
the
dead
triangle.
orchard?
It's
gotta
by-
get you in jiu-jitsu
I
class.
started this sport, and I don't even know what that is, a dead
Inspired by
orchard.
Nathan Orchard of 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. It's a creative way, but again, he's
look at
moving here now back into the guard, getting some ground and pound from Carlos Cordoba.
Cordoba definitely feeling the momentum right here, feeling real good. Bringing it to Escudero. And he definitely did his homework on Escudero on the ground, where Cordoba could have a lot more success. That change of camps going to up in Orlando.
And you see the constant switch of hits
Look at that
here,
arm though,
aiming
very
for the
loosely
arm.
there. Be very careful, Alex.
And he's going to try to free his arm here. But it's right by the hip, and that's where you'll get the leverage to get the break.
Yeah.
So that's what Luis is looking for right here. He has a great angle on it, but being pushed up against the cage is kind of restricting him from extending.
Yeah, he can't get the extension
Yeah.
because of the cage. So what he's going to try to do is lever the other guy's arm and break it off.
Good way so far to start this fight for Cordoba, and perhaps he could get that first W here in La Jaula. Good way of positioning that knee there to keep those legs apart away. Cordoba.
Solid ground and pound.
Great stuff from this man from Costa Rica. It could be a clean sweep for the Costarricense this evening if he pulls off this victory, where Vargas picking up a win earlier this evening.
And you got to wonder who the judges are going to side with on this one. I mean, Luis got dropped, and now he is on the wrong side of the ground and pound. Looks right here. Will they look at the submission attempts, or will they look at this ground and pound and give the round to
Cordoba's round.
Cordoba giving it
Did
his
too
all.
much. That Luis is just hanging on at this point. 10 seconds.
10 seconds to go. Living on to the second chapter of this bout. Looking good for the Costarricense. We'll be back with more after the break. Carlos Cordoba out of Costa Rica taking on a social media influencer. But there's no doubt that he is a trained fighter, been at it for 10 years. But Cordoba looking real good to pick up his first W inside La Jaula. Rafa Roman joined by Calvin McLaren and Alex Wendling. So far, so good, guys.
Yeah, all good. And Luis came out of this round a little bit different than the first round. He realized it was a fight.
Not holding back. Escudero throwing in those creative movements, flying knees, punches. Pointing out something there to time out. Did he lose? What was it here? The mouthpiece. Didn't see it fly out there, but that's the first one. Going for the takedown. That was working for him in the first, Alex.
That seems sneaky to me.
Yeah, a little weird.
Yeah, he gets the takedown here, again in a guillotine position.
There's no timeouts in MMA.
There is crying, though. A lot of crying.
It seemed like he forgot his mouthpiece during the timeout.
Yeah, I
and
think he
Marcos
forgot it
Perez
and then
let him get it back.
Maybe that was a
can
strategy.
happen. It can happen.
We got to protect those teeth. I get it. But wow, he went straight in for the takedown, and now Luis in not the best position, but again, he's really dangerous off his back.
Well, so far, so good for the Costarricense Cordoba. Getting 10s on all of the judges' scorecards. And this is the same position left over from that first round. It was working quite well. But knowing the experience Escudero has had, he does pull out those sneaky submissions out of nowhere. He's very quick and veloz, so Cordoba can't sleep on it.
And this is where Carlos wants to keep the fight, because when we saw on the feet, there was a distinct speed advantage going in Luis's direction. So if he can keep the fight on the ground here, laying down some ground and pound, breaking away at Luis, he's going to be in a good position. And now it looks like he's sneaking in potentially a dart choke if he's around the head, under the arm there. But he's definitely going to have to work that position and go position before submission.
Great start for this Costarricense, Carlos Cordoba. He definitely has improved his fight game, working at the Excel.
Now he's looking to work to the back here. But Luis doing a good job of going 2-on-1. And now he's just going to have to work off the cage. He does not want to get mounted against the cage with a free hand of Carlos ready to pound on him.
The cage becomes a weapon almost for the fighters. They can use it defensively or offensively.
Now Luis covering up. Not much of a look to escape.
He's laying. Marcos Perez looking very closely.
Yeah.
It may stop. And there it is, the first victory for Carlos Cordoba inside La Jaula of Combate Global.
Wow, he gets it done in amazing fashion against Luis Escudero, who is devastated in the corner. He was confident coming into this, but Carlos stayed disciplined with his game plan, getting the win and representing Costa Rica.
That's the beauty of the sport. You can never fall asleep. Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge them by their record, Alex.
Wow, this ground and pound was vicious. Marcos Perez had seen enough, and it didn't look like Luis had much sense of urgency or even the energy to escape it from the get-go.
I don't think there was anything he could do.
Luis Escudero gets finished by Carlos Cordoba for the official decision. Rodolfo.
Este duelo concluye en el segundo asalto a 2 minutos 37 segundos. This fight ends at second round. 2 minutes and 37 seconds for your winner. By way of technical knockout, Carlos, the Costa Rican killer, Cordoba!